Area 99 is officially here, so today I got you with 10 tips that will allow you to instantly get more kills. And we're going to do that while breaking down a 20-plus kill game that I had. Now, the first thing that I do want to quickly mention here, this isn't one of the 10 tips, but just take note of buy stations. Notice that there are no buy stations on this side of the map, specifically here in pods. So if you do land pods, which tends to be a hotter drop spot, it's going to be tough for you to get that loadout and actually buy your loadout guns. But just something I wanted to really make note of in terms of map dynamics. Now, getting into kind of strategies and things that you want to keep in mind while playing that will help you. The first thing, I want to talk about Area 99 and the play dynamic of it. It's a combination, in my opinion, of three maps that we have: Rebirth, Vondel, and Fortune's Keep. Rebirth, because at times it's going to be crazy fast paced. You're going to be using Omnimovement to break lines of sight. Fortune's Keep, because there's going to be times that you're going to have to slow down and play positioning a little bit. This isn't a constant go, go, go map. This is more of balancing positioning and movement. Using positioning to kick off fights to third party, using movement to outplay enemies and really break lines of sight to get away, and of course to actually get kills. And then of course Vondel, because of the third party dynamic. You've really got to keep in mind the angles that you can get shot from. Always remember information, and we're going to really pay attention to that throughout. Now, one thing that I do want to talk about in terms of your loadout dynamic. Right here, I get my loadout crate, okay? Great. I have Gunfighter. I'm only running Gunfighter right now. So this is an 8 attachment GPR. Now, when we talk about Gunfighter versus just a 5 attachment weapon, Gunfighter weapons cost $6,000 in the buy station. So usually right here, if I was playing on Rebirth Island, literally, before the update, I would go, oh, I got my supply loadout crate. I'm going to go buy a perk package, which, by the way, we can no longer buy perks anymore, so that's really important to keep in mind. And then I would buy my SMG, and I would start to push, but I can't do that anymore. So full loadout and buying a loadout in first circle is going to be very, very, very important. Now, similar to every single map, we want to get off to a good start early game. That could either be a ton of kills, you land pods, you pick up 8 to 10 kills, or maybe 5 or 6 kills and you're off to a great start, or you want to get a loadout down and then go from there. Ideally, a combination of both, which is what you're going to see in this gameplay here. But all that to say, tip number 2, we really want to be prioritizing that full loadout, simply because loadout gunfighter guns are so expensive to buy by themselves. Now, number 3 here. This is going to be a really important thing, and we are going to talk about this a lot throughout. Let's talk about audio, guys. This is the most common complaint. This is the #1 issue with this map across the board. Everybody is aware of it. Everybody is frustrated with it. You cannot rely on audio. So what does that mean? By the way, you see right here, I'm going to go ahead. I got my Jackal PDW, which, by the way, guys, link in the comments to GG's.ai. We are working as hard as possible to get you the meta weapons, the meta builds for you guys. So make sure you guys always check out GG's.ai to stay up to date. I actually helped found the website, and we use an algorithm to find the best guns. I don't just tell you, oh, this is the best gun because this player is using it. We actually use an algorithm to figure it out. So, back to no audio. You gotta use minimap, okay? Minimap pings after a kill is going to be crucial. Weapon pings. And one of the biggest dynamics is when we talk about this map, and you're going to see this again, is third partying and moving to the next fight. So right here, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take out this guy who was down below me. So I just repositioned. I'm able to get that kill. Last guy is down below me. This is not one of the 10 tips. I'm back to farming in trios. This is trios. I think trios plays great, guys. Quads is definitely tough. I haven't played duos or solos yet, but I've been loving trios, which means I got to leave this last guy alive over here. So I'm just rotating out, and sure enough, I get shot from another team as I start shooting at this guy. So another team. Now we're just going to start to finesse and outplay a little bit. But don't be afraid to third party. Don't be afraid to kind of rotate and move on that next piece of info. So if you're fighting a team and you see somebody else that might be in a little bit better spot that you can challenge, you can always go work towards that enemy. Now, when we talk about Omnimovement, guys, and we're going to keep going back to certain things, but Omnimovement, we need to keep it simple. Omnimovement can be flashy, right? But at the end of the day, it comes down to the same thing that we've always done, which is strafing while shooting, centering and anticipation, and we use Omnimovement to outplay a little bit more, okay? So right here, it's a simple slide cancel around the corner to be able to challenge this guy. Slide cancel up, a little bit of strafing. We don't have to do anything crazy. Now, this guy back behind me is going to challenge. We need to always keep track of our cover, okay? That is a huge part of this dynamic. Is when we talk about how this plays like Rebirth, in my opinion, it is very easy to break lines of sight. Now, this guy gets caught out in the open, right? You've got to constantly be aware of where your cover is. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and start to work back into this building here. And then, as I said, this third-party dynamic. I've got bounty over this way. I've got this guy shooting at me here. But what I notice is these two guys right here that I can go ahead and third-party. They are fighting. So when we talk about, you know, using information and not relying on audio for weapon pings, guys, is incredible. Like, you hear at least I hear like everything. So use that to your advantage, and you're going to see that how we piece this together. I'm going to leave the information that's over to my left. I'm going to start to work these guys that are on my level. How do I challenge this? I don't just go push in. We play this a little bit like Fortune's Keep. We play this a little bit like Vondel. Let's go ahead. Let's play a little bit patient. Let's third party. If I need to slide to cover, I have this or this that I can go ahead and push behind. So let's go ahead. We're able to get that. We frag in. And as I start to kind of work my way in, what do we notice on minimap right here? This guy is on my level around to the right side. So we're going to go ahead and immediately challenge that. The longer that we wait to act on that piece of information, the more we have to rely on audio, which we don't have. So let's go work this immediately here, even before reloading. Let's go in with the Jackal. I immediately notice that guy has no plates. From here, I'm going to end up getting shot in the back. So how do we use Omni-Movement? Well, we use the increased movement speed from plating. Now we start to work our way around, and it's very, very simple, guys. How much Omni-Movement did I use here? Maybe a little bit of movement speed that they gave us, and then from here, we slide in. We go ahead, a little bit of strafing, a little bit of, you know, hitting high damage areas there. We're able to get that kill, and there's one more guy above us. Just like that, we are up to 8 kills. If you are subscribed, which, by the way, guys, let's make a deal. If you want to get better, give me 1 month. Give me literally 1 month. Subscribe down below. Watch my videos. Give me 1 month. If you do not improve, you can easily unsubscribe from there, but I promise you that is not going to happen. Everybody that watches my videos comments and say how they broke their PR, they dropped their first 20, they dropped their first 30. And look, when we talk about that 20 kill pacing, my gut, if you are subscribed and watch my videos, by the way, lootable perks right here. Lootable perks right here. My gut still says it's going to be 4-4-6-6. 4 kills in the first, 4 kills in the second, 6 kills in the third, 6 kills in endgame. But that could change. I got to play it a little bit more and see. People back behind me, people in pods, weapon pings. This guy's out in front of me right here. That's just a pretty easy kill that we got to be able to get. And when it comes down to it, if we don't know where anybody is, if we're not 100% sure, we can't rely on audio. So what do we do here? Let's go ahead. Let's start to work over towards buy station. Lootable perks right there. Make sure we're using those. Huge advantage that we can give ourselves. Let's go ahead and pop UAV. Now, what you're going to see here is very much the Vondel, the Fortune's Keep. We're going to work our way over here. And we're just going to play very strategic. We're going to play patient. We're going to play our positioning. We're not going to try to full send in there and dance on 2 or 3 guys. We're just going to take our kills. And look, you're going to get third-partied, and you're going to be the one third-partying. A lot of getting kills on this map is kind of playing that mid-range positioning and putting ourselves in a good spot. Unfortunately, there just had the wrong gun out. That should have been my kill, but I had the Jackal out instead of the GPR, which that looks like the early meta. There's definitely going to be, you know, some discoveries again from GG's.ai, some sleepers that we find out in there. We're going to be playing around with different build attachments as well to figure out what the best guns are. But let's go ahead and see. We got 10 teams left here. We've checked off so far how the map plays in terms of, you know, Rebirth versus Vondel versus Fortunes. It's a combination. We talked about full loadout. We talked about minimap and the importance of UAVs and weapon pings and acting on that next piece of information. Pushing the next fight and third partying. We've talked about Omni-Movement a little bit. Use it, but don't overuse it. And by the way, I was actually going to go pop a UAV right here. I probably could have slowed down to speed up just a little bit, meaning, hey, let's take 5 seconds, let's grab the UAV and then figure out what's going on. But ultimately, I decided to go act on these weapon pings over here. I hear the shooting, I see it on radar, and so far, it seems like a lot of the builds people are running are actually unsuppressed weapons. It seems like we're kind of going back to that compensator meta for the muzzle where people are going to be on radar, making it easier to third party. I'm probably going to be running suppressors because I think especially in a map where you can so easily get third partied that it's worth it to be able to run and not be on radar. Also, one other thing to note in terms of the map dynamic, guys, the POIs are real quick. Dying's inevitable, guys. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I'm, what, 11-1 right now? It is what it is, guys. Dying is inevitable on this map. Regaining can be a little bit tougher. We'll probably do some full videos on regaining. We don't have biometric scanners, and in this case, we see that somebody's actually on my loadout. So now, what do? Right? This is where this starts to get a little bit tougher. This is where that cash flow awareness and that cash flow component is so important. And look, cash flow in this map is really, really, really good. There are some games that I got like 20, 30K, and I'm just kind of, I have really good cash. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to prioritize full gunfighter loadout. Okay, so we go loadout first. Now we go ahead and start to loot up. Again, normally if it was 2,500, I'd be perfectly fine. I would go ahead and I would just buy my normal gun and I would go. But it's 6K. So I've got to find a little bit more cash. I'm going to prioritize that Jackal just because I think it's an advantage in those close quarter situations. We're at 53.90 right here. Let's go ahead and open one more crate. A lot of these crates have a ton of cash in them. Cash right there. I don't know if I grab it, but we're at 6K right here. One thing that I do not do in this game, and I'm still getting used to it myself, but it's so important, guys, when it comes to your movement, is, pause on that note. Watch this mortar strike. Okay, 3 things. Number 1, watch this kill. Number 2, we'll talk about mortar strikes. Number 3, we're going to talk about meleeing. So, guys, this is very simple. I'm just going to play a little bit unpredictable here. We're going to kind of not re-challenge that. Let's play strategic. Let's not try to rely on Omnimovement too much. Let's use our brains here. We get that easy kill. Look at the mortar strike, guys. It's no longer the 1, 2, 3, 4 break. 1, 2, 3, 4 break. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Watch it. It just goes. And I learned that the hard way myself when somebody called one in on me the other day. It's coming in. It's just raining the missiles. So just keep that in mind that there is no break in the mortar strikes. Using your melee, guys, you have unlimited tac sprint with your melee. So in this case, I have perks. I'll do a perk video on my second channel, which is also down in the comments, guys. That is where I do like loadout videos and perk videos and stuff like that. Mini-map pings, I'm going to back off here. But melee, you have unlimited tac sprint. Now, in this case, this perk right here is the unlimited tac sprint perk. So I don't really have to worry about using my melee too much. But early game, when you're looting around and you're not in a situation where you might be in a gunfight or something like that, don't be afraid to run out in the open with your melee and use that increased movement speed. And by the way, even if somebody does shoot at you, you have unlimited tac sprint and you have the movement speed of the melee. So you're still in a good spot to be able to outplay that enemy right there. Somebody ends up being down. 14 kills thus far, guys. Next thing, we're just going to keep acting on info here. This is where we have that momentum going. We're just going to keep that momentum. Guys on my level, I don't want to play this too over aggressive. And by the way, always keep track of your cover. That is crucial on this map. And by the way, when I think about this map, because the POIs are so big, right? So think about your ability to finesse in Prison on Rebirth or in Keep on Fortune's Keep, right? There's so much outplay potential because you can constantly break lines of sight. The POIs on this map are really big. And then for the most part, by the way, stims are going to be absolutely be meta again, I think, because of how quick you can pop them. But it is very easy, in my opinion, to break lines of sight. The POIs are massive. You can also rotate from POI to POI very quickly. They are very close together. So all of that to say, the fact that the map is big and the POIs are big, but they are close together, you can get third party pretty easily, and you have a ton of outplay potential if you do get shot at. So we want to use those to our advantage. Let's go ahead. Just like I said, guys, 33K right here. So we're going to pop UAV. This is a huge change with the update here. And I know I'm kind of giving you some bonus tips as well, but right here, guys, I go ahead, I buy a UAV. There's no backpacks anymore, so you can only hold 1 kill streak. So I kind of make the mistake where I get a PA, and then I go, wait, I didn't really want that. I wanted the UAV, so now I had to call in the PA to get the UAV. So just keep that in mind. You can only hold 1 kill streak. Let's go ahead and go over this way, just acting on basic information here. And look, to a certain dynamic, 2 guys down here. He's broken. He's down. We're going to go ahead. We're going to put the pressure on. That doesn't really change. Did I use a little bit of Omni-Movement there? Yes, but it's not Omni-Movement like I'm sliding and diving right. I think the biggest thing with Omni-Movement is the ability to slide right and center your crosshairs better. I think that's the biggest thing. Now, tip number 9, I think we're on. Endgame, guys. Endgame, very much the same as always. If you are subscribed, we talk about in circle with cover, then power position, making sure that you're in circle first and foremost. You want to constantly keep track and remember where teams are. You need to play your cover, right? Where is there cover that you can, you know, have a good spot? If you get shot, you can have cover. You don't want to be caught out in the open, even on top of a rooftop. That's why, naturally, guys, this is going to be the play here. But I was worried about the teams that were over here being able to shoot me. And this, again, goes back to that third-party dynamic and how the map is built. That, yeah, just because you got to make sure that your lines of sight are broken from where you know people are. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to end up getting up top here. And what I then realized, and this is a little bit of map knowledge, we're going to learn the map throughout as we go. What I then realized is I actually have ways to break the lines of sight from the teams that are over this way. And I end up putting myself in a pretty good spot here where I have, hey, this guy straight ahead of me on my level. If I need to break the line of sight, I can easily just shift this way a little bit. We're going to go ahead and take this kill for kill number 20. And now we're going to go ahead and really focus on the win. Now I'm going to work my way over this way. Notice that I am running Semtex in this case. I don't have throwing knives unlocked yet, so I think I am going to end up using those. By the way, I don't have a ton of cover right here, okay? So in this moment, yes, I know that guy's down. I know there's 2 more enemies. There's one right here, obviously, in my scope. There's also one backside this way, but I don't have a ton of cover, so that is the most important thing at the moment. Let's go ahead and use that Semtex to get that full kill, and we work our way up. But I have that high ground, so that high ground is what is giving me cover at the moment. Look at the circle rotation. So as soon as we get that next circle, we want to take note of where it is, really focus on trying to rotate early when we can, putting ourselves in a good spot to get in circle with cover and then grab that power position early. Still 5 other teams left here. Now, when we talk about that outplay potential, this right here is where I think we do have a ton of outplay potential. The movement speed, okay? The ability, the slide speed, the sprint speed. Watch how much ground I cover. So first things first is I get caught off guard. I knew that there were 2, but I just kind of got over aggressive there chasing the 1, and there are 2. But watch me get out of this. Like, you look how much ground I cover and how literally in the matter of seconds, look how far away I am from these guys. Like, these guys are all the way over here. There's so much ground that you can cover. And part of that is that speed boost that I got from that stim right there. But this is the outplay potential dynamic that we really want to use in these close quarters. All of a sudden, line of sight is broken. We're in a good spot here to reset this fight. And, you know, if it was second circle, I could easily push back in there. With it being 5th circle, I'm going to go ahead, be really careful in here. I feel very comfortable with this this building right now. I know this building pretty well here. So we're just going to go ahead and rotate early, try to get in circle with cover, a little bit of power position here. You know, I kind of know where these last teams are. There's obviously one team in here that I just, well, let's go to minimap here. There's one team in here that I just saw. There's obviously the team that's rotating from over this way. And there's one guy in pods who's actually on a UAV that I popped previously. So I know pretty much where everybody is. Long range. Got to get the down. Not really worried about the thirst. Now we go to work. Now we start to outplay. Jump through window. Can't jump through that one. Keep finessing hard. And unfortunately, I go down, guys. Tip number 10. Don't rely on audio, baby. Guys, that's the #1 thing I can tell you. You can't, this guy, they literally full send me. I don't know if it was technically covered up by the PA. I have no idea, but I didn't hear him at all. I didn't hear the second guy. I couldn't jump through the window. So look, we got caught off guard there because of no audio. Maybe there is a strategy that says try to get UAVs for those end games so you really understand. But look, I should have predicted that the team that was over here in this building was going to rotate over the same way I did. Should have been focused on them a little bit more as opposed to this team rotating over into pods who I was probably never going to be able to kill anyway. So that's just a slight mistake on my end. You know, definitely something to be learned from. And why do we do it that way? Why do we focus on the team that's probably rotating into my building? Because you're not going to hear them rotating up on you. So, guys, I hope you found that helpful. Let me know down in the comments some video ideas that you have. I've got a bunch, but anything you guys feel like you're really, really struggling with, make sure you guys put them down in the comments below. As I always say, let's get better today, and I will see you tomorrow.